Alright, so I assume you've got the chance to see Fantastic Four First Steps in cinemas, so I'm going to be talking spoilers. As explained in my spoiler-free review, I thought this movie was easily the best that Marvel's given us in 2025. I just appreciate the fact that we've got a Marvel movie that isn't reliant on humour, squeezed in at every dramatic moment, and also not relying on audiences watching movies and TV shows in their gallons prior to seeing this. Because it's set in its own universe, you could go into this movie blind and it's very standalone. I'm sure you're also all aware that they've skipped the origin story, which is great because we've seen that 3 times now, but I do appreciate the opening where they explain who these guys are and gave nods to a lot of classic Fantastic Four villains, including this shot right here. Seeing this on the screen was so satisfying for someone who is a big fan of Fantastic Four as a kid. Keeping in with the Superman parallels, this movie also does have a black hole sequence. I'm telling you, does Marvel and DC keep bugs on each other's screenwriting rooms? Regardless of who's copying who, I think this black hole sequence was better than Superman's, mainly because it felt less like a superhero blockbuster and more like something that actually respects space. It's not only a scene purely made for cinema, it also shows all the characters are intelligent in their own way. Particularly Johnny. I loved Joseph Quinn in this movie. He's probably my favourite member of the team because he has his own storyline in deciphering the alien language that the Silver Surfer uses. Turns out it's language from the different planets that she's been to and offered up to Galactus. And even though Silver Surfer willingly gave herself up as a servant to Galactus to save her planet, she still is held accountable for giving up all these planets as food source for Galactus. For a long while now, Marvel's not really been holding female characters who are at a lot of fault accountable for their actions, so this is nice to see. The point is, Galactus wants Franklin Richards, Sue and Reed's son, as his replacement so he doesn't have to keep on devouring planets, which was an interesting take because this guy could have easily been a very one-note villain, but the fact that he's sick of this and sees it as a curse really adds layers to him. As for Franklin himself, I don't know much about him, but this movie really makes him sound OP as hell. And the more the movie kept going, the more it kept illustrating him as kind of a MacGuffin character, so I just kind of became a bit detached from him. Hopefully they're going to flesh him out a lot more in Doomsday. The whole thing with Sue pushing Galactus through the portal at the end was kind of cheesy, but it settled in because I like the fact that Sue is actually getting the respect she deserves. Jessica Alba in the old ones was just so weak. Sue's powers are actually really cool in the comics, and if anyone's going to do it on the team, it would be her. And it's not like they make her Rey from Star Wars, where she just does it without a scratch. She actually does die. And then Franklin Richards brings her back to life, which I guess is one of his powers now. And in the mid-credits scene, we do get Doctor Doom. We don't see Robert Downey Jr.'s face, but we do see the mask. And I'm glad that it does look more like Doctor Doom's mask, not just Iron Man's substitute mask. So this definitely implies that Franklin is going to be used a lot more in Doomsday. What Matt Shakman did in this movie was some really lovely tributes to Jack Kirby. I just love that Earth 82, which is where this movie is set, is actually a tribute to Jack Kirby, because his birthday was August 28th. And we also get a cameo from the original cast from 1994, which is a great way of paying respects to those guys because their movie was never released. This is not just the best Fantastic Four movie and not just the best Marvel movie out of 2025, it's the first time I actually feel hope in Marvel's future since Endgame. Beforehand, my favourites like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or Deadpool and Wolverine were just these standalone things that didn't really connect to the multiverse saga, but now that we have a movie that actually feels focused, also got likeable characters and clear direction, it fills me with optimism because the Fantastic Four are going to be this big part of the reboot. And I look forward to a lot more adventures with these guys, whether on our Earth or Earth 8 or Earth 828.